What was the must-have Christmas toy if you were a kid of the 90s? Well, we're going to be going through every year of the 90s. Alan and I were still kids. I mean, when, Christmas of 1990, we were 10 years old. So still in our wheelhouse. But when we get to the later years, that's when we kind of phased out of a lot of those toys. But 1990, we're kicking things off. This is one I know for a fact was right up our alley. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yes.
You know what I just watched like yesterday?
Let me guess, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yes, but can you think of what specifically I watched?
Secret of the Ooze.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go! Go Ninja, go Ninja, go! I didn't watch the whole movie, I watched that scene.
You watched Vanilla Ice.
I just wanted to see that scene, because Alan and I saw that together.
Yes.
In the theater.
My mother took us.
She did.
Fantastic.
Did we go see it at Clackamas Town Center? We're getting sidetracked.
No, you know where we saw it? I can't. The theater closed down. It's where the Best Buy is on 82nd and.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So
really, I can't remember the name of it. But
do you know why the Ninja Turtles are named after famous artists?
Because Splinter found a Renaissance art book in the sewer, and that's what he named them after.
Well, shit, Alan went total lore on that one. I'll give you the credit. I was thinking more or less why the comic book, like they were.
Oh.
But that's great. That's a good answer, man. That was brilliant.
That's what it was.
Yeah. So what I was going for is basically the creators. You had Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman. They're art history lovers, which is why they did it. But I like your answer way better than my answer, dude. That was awesome. All right, 1991, Super Nintendo. Obviously, that could be the go-to here. But the other big toy that year was POGs. We were 11, and I remember POGs becoming a thing like when I was in high school, which would have been like 94, 95. But
really? Oh.
When do you remember POGs coming into?
Well, I always remembered. I remembered POGs from around that time because I started seeing them like pop up in like Wizard. I don't know if you remember the magazine. The magazine.
Yeah.
Because they would have like little cutout things and advertisements where you could get like Incredible Hulk Blaster Pog or whatever the hell they called it.
The Blaster Pog.
The Blaster. And I just remember seeing things about it. It never really
wasn't your jam?
It wasn't my fancy. Yeah, it wasn't my jam.
So
stacking little cardboard things up and slamming them. Nah.
Random fact: the history of POGs dates all the way back to the 1920s in Hawaii when milk bottle caps were used as a game among children. However, it wasn't just milk bottle caps. Do you know where the name POG comes from?
It was because Paul Pogba's great-great-grandfather was in Hawaii at the time.
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
That's why it's called Pogba.
No. Have you ever had a juice that is passion fruit, orange, and guava?
No, but that sounds amazing.
It is. Oh my God. You've never had it? Okay. Mission for Alan and anybody watching this. Go get some of that, because that's all we drank when we were in Hawaii. We went this past summer where I found my coral balls, by the way. And that's, you drink POG juice, man. It's glorious. It's amazing. Passion fruit, orange, and guava. Okay, so I'm going to go over the rules here really quick. And by the way, I'm going to put up a picture right here of some kids playing with POGs. That's not Hawaii. That's the Philippines, everybody.
Oh, yay.
I found that on my websites. I figured I would do that for Alan, even though he probably...
thanks, buddy.
Even though he
probably... Now our Filipino viewers.
Yeah. Dude, right? I was telling Alan, if you're from the Philippines, comment below, baby. We got a good Filipino following here. This is great. Okay, so the rules. Do you know the actual rules of POGs?
No.
Okay, so... And this is what I think I found this on Wikipedia. So the players each contribute an equal number of caps to build a stack with the pieces face down, which will be used during the game. The players take turns throwing their slammer, that would be the down onto the top of the stack, causing it to spring up, and then the caps scatter. Each player keeps any caps that land face up after they have thrown. After each throw, the caps have been, which have landed face down, are then restacked for the next player. When no caps remain in the stack, the player with the most POGs is the winner. Rules can be changed depending on who is playing and where they are from.
Pog.
POGs. All right, moving on to 1992. A few different toys here were the hot Christmas toys of that year. Barbie Dream House, Talking Barney, but the big one, the Talkboy. Did you have a Talkboy?
You know, the funny thing is, I don't even know what the Talkboy is.
It's the thing that he uses to record in Home Alone 2.
Yes. Okay.
So that's the Talkboy.
I know that now, but I didn't even think that it was a thing.
It was, and it wasn't originally. The original Talkboy was conceived specifically for Home Alone 2, and it was a non-working prop. So what he's using in the movie isn't an actual functioning Talkboy, but they realized that if they could build this thing, it would sell a lot, which it did that Christmas season. And they eventually made the functional toy. It was released the same day that the movie hit theaters.
Oh, interesting.
1993. Super Soaker. That was your hot toy. Did you have Super Soaker?
Yes. I only had and I'm sure this was like a couple years later, but when they just had the like the little pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were
were
really
great.
fun.
So the gun was invented by Dr. Lonnie Johnson, who helped NASA with their Galileo mission to Jupiter. He was working on a heat pump that could use vaporized water pressure instead of hazardous Freon. When the pump sent a stream of water across the room, he decided to make a water blaster. The original prototype was made out of PVC pipe and an empty soda bottle that he called the Power Drencher. As you can...
Super Soaker wasn't much better.
Well, Super Soaker at least rolls off the tongue a little better than Power Drencher.
The Power Drencher.
Drench. All right, 1994, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers were the hot toy of that Christmas season. We'll cover the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers more in depth later on. But here's a random little nugget for you. The show was originally called Dino Ranger, and Stan Lee tried to get Marvel to make the show years before it was actually made.
And did you know that Power Rangers in Japan, it's part of a long running series called Super Sentai?
Yes, and I believe that's what
back in the 1970s.
I believe that's what Stan Lee saw that he wanted to convert for Marvel. By the way, R.I.P. Jason David Frank. By the way, we lost him this past year. Another. Okay, I don't know why I'm bringing this up. It's a sad note. Do you know what happened to the Yellow Ranger?
Died in a car accident.
Yeah, in like 2001 or so, something like that. Yeah, dude.
Very sad.
When I was looking into Power Rangers, I think I'd either forgotten it or I didn't even know that fact, and that bummed me out, man.
Yeah.
That was not
Trini.
Yeah, dude, that sucked. Anyway, let's get it on some more. Oh, here we go. Here's an interesting one. 1995. Beanie Babies.
Carl Malone wants some Beanie Baby. It's Carl Malone, and I'm looking for some Beanie Baby.
Is that back when Jimmy Kimmel did blackface?
That was for Crank Yankers.
Oh, that's right. But it was Jimmy Kimmel doing the voice, I thought, right?
Yeah, it was Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, that's right. That's right. All right, so Beanie Babies, those were the hot toy of 1995. There was a website that was a major factor in the sales of Beanie Babies. Do you know what website that was?
It wouldn't happen to have been eBay, would it?
Electronic Bay, ladies and gentlemen. You are correct. So I decided to hop on the old eBay and see what you could find as far as some of the Beanie Babies go. I have a Beanie Baby. My parents bought it for me before I had surgery on my right shoulder when I was 16. So they bought me a little goat Beanie Baby. And it's somewhere here in the house. So when I jumped on eBay, I wanted to see like what are the most highest priced Beanie Babies. And there's some and it's all the same one from $600,000 up to almost $1 million is what this one goes for. Do you know which Beanie Baby that is?
No idea.
There's a Princess Diana Beanie Baby.
Oh.
And that one apparently is worth a lot of money.
Wow.
All right, moving on to 1996. This was one of the big ones, Tickle Me Elmo. And obviously, this would have been, to the point, Alan and I, both 16 years old, we're way phased out of the Tickle Me Elmo phase. I mean, I didn't have one. I didn't actually have one. So this is the one that I remember just being insane when it came to the stores and people fighting over these goddamn things. I mean, Beanie Babies were bad too because a lot of people got arrested over that crap. But yeah, this was huge with the Tickle Me Elmo. Then moving on to 1997, Tamagotchi was the big toy. Did you ever have a Tamagotchi? Anybody had a Tamagotchi? I always wanted one.
A lot of my friends in high school had Tamagotchis.
See, I wanted one. I never had one.
I never had one though, personally.
My wife had one when she was younger, and so my kid got one. I think it was last year for Christmas, and this is when we found out if you're going to get your kid one for Christmas, have disposable battery or not disposable, have rechargeable batteries. Because it sucks the battery so goddamn fast. It felt like every 2 to 3 days we were having to swap those batteries out, and the company that makes it claims that it can go 10 days with 30 minutes a day of use. Which kid is only going to touch it for 30 minutes a fucking day?
God, no kidding.
And then even that estimate is crazy low because it went way faster than that. But anyway, my wife had one. So then when my kid got one, God, what did my wife say? She called them like needy bitches or something like that. And my kid thought it was the funniest goddamn thing because you got to tend to those things. Otherwise, they poop all over the place. All right, moving on to 1997. The Furby was the hot toy at Christmas season. Do you remember the Furby?
I do.
Those
creepy eyes.
Yeah. I worked with a lady who collected Furbies when I worked for State Farm back then. She was a big Furby person. She would talk to me about the different Furbies that she was getting. However, Hasbro, the maker of the Furby, they ended up getting sued because of its resemblance to something else. Do you know what that was?
Teddy Ruxpin?
No.
A demon?
If you feed it after midnight, it'll turn into one.
Oh, Gremlins, huh?
Yeah, Mogwai.
Oh, Mogwai specifically. Okay.
Yeah, specifically a Mogwai. So Warner Brothers was sued because they felt that the toy looked like a Mogwai. All right, final year here, 1999. Pokemon trading cards.
Yeah.
Pokemon trading cards. I have never gotten into Pokemon. Have you?
Nope.
Okay, so there is one specific trading card that's considered the most rare, the most expensive. Do you know how much that card is worth or what the card is?
I think it's that foil Charizard that Jake Paul or Logan Paul, one of those guys, wore around his neck when he went to go fight Floyd Mayweather.
I'll give you points on that. So it's the Pikachu Illustrator is the card. And it can be found on eBay right now for about $4 million. So Logan Paul, he did buy one. So the way they grade them, there's a PSA 10 that's like pristine, I believe, and then like below that would be a PSA 9. So when he bought one that was a PSA 10, he had a PSA 9, so he upgraded. And so his card was said to be worth about $1.275 million. And then he also added on an extra $4 million to purchase this card. So he spent, all combined, over $5 million on this one toy. I'm sorry, on this one card.
Stupid, to be honest with you.
If you have that much money, and there's people starving out in the world, what are you doing with yourself?
Are they going to play Pokemon with you? No, because they have no cards to play with.
Yeah, because they can't eat. I don't know. But there goes 1999. Those Pokemon trading cards. All right, coming up, future videos. We're going to get to the Muppet Christmas Carol. After that, I haven't quite figured out where we're going to go here post-Christmas time. Whether we're going to talk about things that happened in 2022. Actually, you know what? I think I just decided as I'm talking about this. We're going to cover some events that happened in 2022, and then we're also going to get to things to look forward to in 2023. Like we've got the Women's World Cup coming up in 2023, and I'm excited about that. I almost get more excited about the Women's World Cup because I know we're actually good, and we've actually
have a good team.
Yeah, we've actually won it. So That's one of the reasons to get excited for it. So if there's anything that happened in 2022, or if you think there's anything in 2023 that we should be looking forward to, make sure you comment below and let us know, and we'll think about covering that potentially in a future video. But on that note, again, comment, like, all that, little thumbs up and all that fun stuff down there. Coming up next video, The Muppet Christmas Carol.